well done.
Oh man, I wanted to talk about a couple things since we have you on the episode because there's a lot to catch up on and a lot to reminisce about.
Sure.
So I wanted to kind of bring up how your family always had the best fucking fireworks on 4th of July, like the best in town.
Yes.
You guys always had that good shit.
Because my dad would go to Arizona and buy them there.
I thought he went to like Mexico or something to pick that shit up.
No, just Arizona. He would just go over to what is that casino? Like on the way. So he would go on the way to, or is Nevada really? I think it was Nevada, because he would go on the way to Laughlin. There's a national casino, tribal casino, and at that casino they have a shop that's like their specialty is fireworks, and so he would buy tons and tons of fireworks. But I don't know if they're going to keep doing it because the cops showed up either the last year or the year before and literally like confiscated like 3 of his fireworks. And I think it was only because he had a badge on him when they asked for ID and, he pulls out his ID. It shows that he's a retired police officer. Mm-hmm. That was when they were like, all right, we're just going to take these ones.
A couple, yeah.
But you know how he is, like he'd already shut his truck up that he hides them all in. And so they only got like the 3 that were out. And then as soon as they left, he was like, all right, well, it's last year. Let's go out with the fucking bang. So.
Good times. Yeah, I remember always looking forward to that and, never having to buy our own because we're like, the neighbors will have them. We're good.
Yeah, we tried.
Mm-hmm. And we can always tell when you guys were starting the fireworks because it'd be like the whole house would shake. And so we're like, oh, guess it's time to go outside. They're firing off the mortars.
We also were I don't know if, because Steph didn't come over as often as we started aging up, but you came over all the time. And we also always had like an incredibly vast stockpile of pretty much any soda you could imagine. And I was going to say,
why. I remember that.
Yeah. I don't know why we had, but because my dad always drank for years, he drank Pepsi or Diet Pepsi, and then he switched to Coke or Diet Coke. But we had root beer and Sunkist and Purple Drink and just like, and it was always stacked on like a pallet in our garage. And then we had an outside fridge that's all it was with sodas.
So Cameron and I don't know if you ever knew this stuff. Cameron and I actually had an encounter with an alien or like some sort of like extraterrestrial experience.
Oh my God.
Do you remember this, Cam?
I do. We were on the trampoline. Mm-hmm. We were jumping. It was probably I think it was like I want to say it was like close to fall because I remember it got dark early. And
I wanted to make sure when we say jumping, that means like we were on the trampoline, like
jumping, we were jumping the trampoline. Yeah, we used to do like WWE style wrestling, and we would pretend to be different characters, and I would usually be somebody like the Big Show, and we would do like choke slams and stuff. But so we were just jumping one night, just jumping the trampoline, and literally like out of nowhere, this was crazy. It was like this flash of green light in like a conical shape coming downward.
Yeah, it was like an upside down cone. Yeah, and it was like 3 or 4 of them, right? In a row.
It happened like it was like simultaneous, but in like rapid succession. But literally from where we were at, you could tell it was like at least a quarter mile apart from each rapid succession of these green strobes that came down. And it wasn't like a helicopter because from where we were at, you would have heard it.
Yeah,
it was fast enough that it literally took like milliseconds between each flash, and it was incredible because we both saw it literally, and we were both kind of like freaked out. Like
we just stopped in our tracks and we're like, "Did you just see that right now?" Like we were so spooked by that. It was trippy because
how was it like in the field behind our houses?
No, it was closer, but you could tell it was like almost to Victoria Street. At that distance, you clearly would have heard something in the air. If it was a plane, you would have felt like even like the wind off of it or something. Something was low enough and fast enough and silent enough that it was able to create these like 4 succinct like green strobes.
Whatever the hell
like
that
I said,
was.
And it was a big cone. Like think of like if something was gonna like
probably cover a house, right?
Yeah,
like
I would say
lot.
That's what I was gonna say, like 4 or 5 car lengths.
Yeah, and we had that perfect vantage point because like my backyard had the bamboo in front of the chain link fence, but you guys hadn't had your wood fence yet, so you just had the chain link, right?
Yep.
And so and our lots were a little bit more elevated. There was like the ditch, and then there was like the empty field, and it was just pitch black.
Yeah.
And so we had the perfect view of just like these lights that came down, and it was freaking weird. I think we went inside after that. I don't think we continued playing.
I think we were genuinely like not scared, but definitely like spooked.
All right. You guys ready?
Yep.
Yep.
How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Aflixionados Podcast, Episode 12. My name is Eric, and the other voice occupying your head this time is my sister and co-host, Stephanie.
Yo.
But that's not all, folks. We actually have our very first guest on Aflixionados Podcast. Please join us in welcoming our brother from another mother, Cameron.
Welcome aboard. Yeah, indeed.
Thank you to all the listeners out there for joining us. Aflixionados is a monthly podcast where we mainly talk about films that range from mind-numbing to mind-blowing. Occasionally, we may also cover TV shows or other forms of media. It goes without saying, we will be getting into spoilers here, and there will be only the healthiest amount of expletives tossed in. You have been warned. Now, if you ain't ready, then get ready, because in this episode, this being our July episode, we will be discussing Independence Day. Let's kick the tires and light the fires.
I'm ready.
I feel like this one is definitely childhood classic for us.
Oh,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. So what I wanted to do was, let me throw out that synopsis, and then I wanted to read the tagline for the movie, because I thought it was actually kind of comical. Like, I think it was trying to be intense, but the way I read it, I was like, all right, that's a little corny. But back then, it was probably awesome.
I'm sure it was.
Hostile aliens invade Earth with the goal of destroying humanity. Fighting superior technology, mankind's greatest weapon is the will to survive. So the tagline that I read here on this poster, and I was just like, all right, that's a little cheesy, was, "We've always believed we weren't alone. On July 4th, we'll wish we were."
It's kind of
I feel like
apropos.
that's pretty standard 90s, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of appropriate for that era, and you know, honestly, like you said, you know, there's a blast from our past, this is from our childhood. I remember I was 10 years old when this movie came out.
Holy shit, you remember how old you were?
I do, because I was born in '84. This movie came out on July 3rd of 1994.
94.
And I actually
Was
saw
it
it.
94?
Oh, no, actually 96.
That's what I thought.
Maybe I was 12 years old. I don't remember.
Because if it was 96, I was 9. Dating myself here.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was 1996. So I was 12 years old. But what I was going to say is I actually saw it. It was kind of cool. It was the summer, and I used to spend a lot of my summers at my Aunt Cindy's house. She's my mom's twin sister, and I was up there with my cousin Victor, and I saw this on 4th of July, which was really cool in my opinion. It was,
Really?
yeah, we saw it July 4th because it came out July 3rd. We saw it the next day, and it was kind of incredible. And like you said, we don't want to spoil too much, but the line where he says, you know, when the president comes out and he says, "And today we celebrate our Independence Day," it was Independence Day at that time, and it was kind of surreal. It was neat.
That's pretty badass.
The whole crowd should have just erupted.
There's so much about the movie that was like we said at that time. There's certain things you look back on now, you're like, oh, that was kind of cheesy, you know, the lines and Will Smith being Will Smith at his Will Smithest.
You bet your ass we're getting into all that.
Okay.
I got some notes written down. So what I wanted to do was there's a pretty interesting background to this movie. Like the way that the idea for Independence Day actually came to be. Independence Day, as we said, came out in 1996, and it was directed by Roland Emmerich. And the idea for Independence Day, or also known as ID4, as to differentiate it from the US holiday. So that way, you know, like when you say ID4, you're talking about the movie. Originally, the director Roland Emmerich and writer Dean Devlin were asked by a reporter if they actually believed in aliens during the promotion of another movie, Stargate. And that's the one with Kurt Russell, the Stargate movie.
Another classic.
Oh, Dad loved that movie.
So did I.
Emmerich was fascinated with the idea of an alien arrival and decided to expand on the idea by incorporating like a large-scale attack. And Emmerich actually asked Devlin if arriving from across the galaxy, he asked him, would you hide on a farm or would you make a big entrance? And I think that was kind of like the direction they wanted to take, because at that time, everyone was just kind of like doing like these subtle entrances, you know, kind of like sneaking in, or we've been there the whole time type of thing. But
Right.
Emmerich was interested in like,
Doing
no,
little
when we show up,
cropsicles.
you guys are going to know.
Well, they had been studying us for quite some time, and then they decided to make their grand entrance. But yeah, otherwise,
So just a point to make, because I sounded like a fool earlier when I made the point about 1994. Stargate did come out in 1994.
94.
there you go.
Just so I don't sound like a total buffoon on the recording there. but yeah, I think that you're right. I think that there are certainly if there were aliens and they were hostile aliens, why wouldn't they come out
Why would
completely
you
aggressive
wait?
right
Yeah.
from the get-go? And as it states in, and I don't know where your questions lied, but as it states in their communication, right, that and they get to that point where President Whitmore is kind of connected. That's where he learns their whole goal is just to eliminate and get all the resources and destroy.
Yep.
That's
exactly. They're just like this plague that
Right.
just spreads across the universe, and
Locust,
that's
like
the
you
thing.
said.
The
Exactly. The Zerg. And and
Yeah,
they
suck the
were,
planet dry and move on to the next planet.
Yeah.
with being such a like a hostile race, and like, you know, I would say like in a lot of ways, because up until that point, you know, like no one could stop them. So I think they almost had like this weird arrogance where they're just like, we're just gonna come down on this planet, wreck these fools, suck up everything, and then bounce. I don't think they expected us to be able to put up much of a fight.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a quote in that Loki makes in one of the Marvel movies, and he says, something about, what type of beef does a ant have with a boot, right? So they're like the boot
They
in
thought
this
they were,
movie. They're the boot. We're the ants. They're going to crush
Mhm.
us. Why wouldn't
Yep.
they?
yeah, well, obviously they didn't know about us, and because all the stuff that happened in Area 51, they had been there or they had visited us before. They had known about us for quite some time. They'd been watching us. You think they would have, I don't know, maybe figured out that we're a little bit more resilient than that, or maybe they were just too arrogant.
There could be something here where maybe that was just like a scouting party, and obviously that ship never made it back. So I wonder if they maybe sent off a beacon, like a SOS, and they're like, hey, we're stranded,
Yeah.
come pick us up. And then, like, I don't know, they ended up dying or something, you know, because obviously they were caught and experimented on.
And that's
They
where
did die.
that's where that synopsis that on the back of, you were reading the back of the DVD or the VHS at that time.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that comes into, where it's about the willpower. That let's be honest, that is mankind's greatest weapon. We do have more willpower than most people could possibly imagine. The will to survive. People have overcome some crazy things in reality. This is a movie, but in reality, people have overcome some crazy things.
Yeah.
They didn't know that they're fucking with Americans, all right?
Well, and those guys at the end with the sticks.
They're the true heroes. They're real
Yeah.
MVPs.
Yeah.
So in 1996, ID4 was actually the highest grossing film as well. So, I mean, you weren't the only one that saw it, Cameron. Everyone was freaking seeing that movie that year. And it actually beat out some pretty big movies that year. So, a lot of blockbusters. So, it beat out Twister. It beat out the original Scream. It beat out Space Jam. And it beat out Mission Impossible 1. So, they had some pretty big movies that year. That wasn't too bad of a year, I'd say.
Man, the only real competition was Twister, obviously.
I don't know about that one. I can't tell if that's sarcasm or not. I mean, Twister's a fun movie, but
it's not on this level.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. Bill Paxton. Every time I see him, all I can think of is just like that guy. Isn't Bill Paxton the guy from Alien? That's like, 6 months. We won't last 6 minutes on this rock.
Yeah,
He's like all scared, isn't that? And he's the guy from True Lies that's like pretends like he's like some secret spy with other.
He's the car salesman, yeah.
Yeah.
The used car salesman.
That's all I can see in him when I watch movies with him, and I'm like, oh man, Bill Paxton.
Hey, you know what? He's also in Titanic too, so he's been in some big movies.
All right, I'll give it to you.
It was the fastest film to earn 200 million at the time, and that record would actually hold on for 3 years until it was surpassed by The Phantom Menace. So that lets you know how old this freaking movie is, because that was episode 1, Phantom Menace.
Yeah, and that movie, even though a lot of people look back on the prequel trilogy as kind of like not nearly as good as the first 3 films that came out in the 70s. I mean, literally lines around buildings for The Phantom Menace. That was when I think lines started to get long, was The Phantom Menace and the Lord of the Rings stuff. When all that stuff started coming out, people were just lining up left and right for movies.
You know, back then too, in 1996, this was kind of a big deal, this movie, because there was some big advancements in the CGI special effects department. Like Twister and Independence Day would go on to popularize blockbuster disaster films. And you know what, like, there were a bunch of movies that came after that were kind of inspired by that, you know, that took a lot of influence, like Dante's Peak and Deep Impact, Armageddon, and even Emmerich's other movie, The Day After Tomorrow.
Love that movie.
Great, which is a great movie. Honestly, one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. I
love
like that movie a lot.
Whenever that's the one. Whenever it's on TV, I will watch it regardless of the commercials every time. And my husband's like, again.
Really?
He
For the
knows. He
100th
knows.
time? Don't judge me.
You know what's funny is now that you mention it, did he also direct 2020 or 2012?
2012, I believe, yeah. With like the advancements in CGI, like I don't know if you guys noticed this, but when I fired up the movie ID4 and like all the very like stylized opening credits, it felt very 90s to me. Like the font, the sound effects, the letters were like like breaking apart and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that obviously one of the things that I was paying attention to was the special effects in the CGI, because obviously I was like, well, let's see if this holds up. And there were a few times where I forgot, that it was made in the 90s. I thought it held up pretty well. I mean, obviously there were a few times where it was pretty bad, but like when when they explode all the buildings, when the countdown ends and they explode all the buildings, I was like, that's not bad. With the whole laser, the ship opening up and the laser coming down. I thought that all looked really good.
That's all practical effects. That's why. So the buildings were like they were miniatures and they blew them up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, the way that they do it is they turn the camera on its side, and then they have the miniature like sideways on like right. Almost like a horizontal. Yeah. And so what they do is when they light it, fire wants to go up it as you would expect, and so they get it makes it look like fire is coming at the camera because it is cool. And that's the way that fire burns. So it makes it look really good.
Was the laser practical?
No,
or was
just
it just explosion?
But the laser they edited
just
that
explosion.
In.
Yeah.
You know what though? What I really appreciate about Independence Day was it doesn't fuck around, man. Like it just jumps right into the action. Like as soon as the movie starts, it's like aliens already here. They're already invading. The little pieces are coming off, and they're like starting to like float down to the major cities. And it starts like was it like 2 days before Independence Day?
Yeah. That was one thing I noticed too, because I was paying way more attention than I normally do when I just have it on the background every 4th of July every single year. And I was like, man, it's pretty straightforward story. It's moving. It moves fast. It
does, yeah. And I actually really appreciate that, because I feel like a lot of movies, it's like slow burn. I'm like, all right, let's get to the good stuff. Yeah. Let's get to the action.
Yeah, you can always appreciate a movie that that purposely tries to run in real time, right? Where 2 days in the movie is 2 days moving along the story.
And it's believable. Like it's like it would take them that long to like kind of position. So it takes a whole day for them to like position all their saucers right around the world. And then it's like, all right, so the next day, boom, that's when we do the little coordinated attack.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know what? Even like going down the days, that was kind of a countdown itself. That was counting down to July 4th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought it was pretty cool. What'd you guys think of the characters in the movie though? Because they're like jumping around and like showing like kind of everyone's like settings and where they're from, their experiences.
Steph, why don't you go first?
Sure. I actually like Bill Paxton. So just throwing that out there.
You mean Bill Pullman?
Pullman, yeah, that's what I meant. Bill Pullman.
I was like, we're still on that, man. But no, Bill Pullman. I do too.
No,
go ahead.
No,
Bill Paxton's right. Just everywhere.
We're going back to the movie that we're actually talking about. I like Bill Pullman. Thank you. Because of the Newsies.
What? He was in the Newsies? What the hell?
So he plays
with Christian Bale.
Yes, with Christian Bale. Who is Christian? Is Christian Bale British? I actually heard that he was British, and I had no idea, and that blew my mind.
British.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. I never knew that dude is British.
What?
And I've seen him in so many things, and someone told me, and I just
really.
Seriously, I was like, I just don't believe you, because I've seen him in so much stuff, and I guess I've just never seen an interview with him or something.
He always just does American accents like forever.
Yeah. So he's totally in that. Not Christian Bale. I'm talking about Bill Pullman again. He's in Newsies as the guy the news reporter who like he reports on their story. Actually, honestly, I think those might be like two. I don't know how many more roles I've seen him in. I kind of get the feeling. I don't know if it's just me, but I kind of get the feeling that that people don't really take him seriously otherwise.
Like as an actor?
I don't know. I feel like for that movie though, he made a very believable executive person, meaning, he made a believable president. He plays that role very well. And I've seen him in other movies where he plays similar roles where he's very kind of like within himself, where he doesn't make quick, rash decisions, but makes thoughtful, logical, analytical decisions that are more impactful. And I thought he played the president incredibly well.
Yeah.
I thought so too. Yeah. So I don't know. I think I was just looking around online, and I just kind of got the not too hard or anything. I just kind of got the general idea that people didn't really take him too seriously, and I was like, well, the two notable roles in my life, which are Newsies and Independence Day, I thought he did great. So, so yeah, I liked him. I liked him as the president. His cute little daughter, played by Mae Whitman, I believe, who eventually goes on to play Anne in Arrested Development and. The one lesbian ex in Scott Pilgrim.
What? No way. That's her?
Yeah, that's her.
Oh,
that's
damn.
her.
The one with the hammer, right? That's all fast.
No, Ramona's the one with the hammer.
Oh,
but yeah, she's the one who's all fast.
Okay, gotcha.
I only know this because I remember because I've seen
the little
girl.
No way.
Yeah, and she's so cute.
Cool.
And oh man, where my heartstrings tugged. I don't think I've ever cried watching Independence Day, but when I was watching it last night, as a mom and everything, when the first lady died, yeah, I was just like, and every time I cry watching a movie and my husband's there, I'm like, I'm not crying, you're crying, shut up. And so I look at my husband, he's like, I know I'm crying, you're not crying.
Allergies.
So it's just a few scenes before the wife gets to the Area 51 and she passes away and the daughter's there and President Whitmore is there. My favorite character in the entire film, and this may resonate with no, not at all. Ew, gross, no way. My favorite character in the entire film, and this will resonate with any Trekkie out there, Brent Spiner plays Dr. Okun, I think is how his name is pronounced. And I
think they said Okin.
Okay.
I remember I was like, I saw it on I always have captions on. I saw that and I was like, that's how that's pronounced? All right.
Yeah. So what I love about him is he is Lieutenant Commander Data in Star Trek.
Huh.
And I'm a huge Trekkie. I love Star Trek. And he plays
totally
a completely different role. It's literally, he goes from playing this like android with no emotions, all analytic, all drive for just completing tasks, to this guy that literally is so excitable and so disheveled that it was just a great juxtaposition to a role that you were more likely to see him in if you were a
it
Star
shows
Trek
a lot
fan.
more range, right?
Yeah, I love when actors
you just
do
get
that.
excited when you're like, wow.
It just shows their skill when they can do something like that, go from one character to the other. Which have you guys ever seen Mindhunter?
Yep.
I don't think so.
On Netflix, right?
It's such a good show. And the guy who plays the main guy in Mindhunter, he plays this super, arrogant, over-the-top character in Glee. He plays the King of England in Hamilton. And then he plays what's-his-face in Mindhunter, where he's just like a completely serious...
Yeah, very stoic as well.
Character. And I'm always impressed by people who can, do that easily. Or at least make it look easy.
Yep.
Let me ask you this, though, you guys. Who really cared about that trailer park family? Because I, for one, didn't. I'm like, why are they in this movie? I don't give a shit.
It's just for the guy who was abducted.
That's because you didn't grow up as white trash in a trailer park. The rest of us white trash folk that grew up in trailer parks wanted to see our demographic reflected and
represented the right way.
Yes.
The only interesting person there was the dad, Russell Case, right? Like the one that was supposedly...
Oh, yeah, Russell Case was the dad. Yeah, that's the character's name. Randy Quaid plays him, right?
Well, Bill Paxton as Russell Case.
Love that guy.
All right, enough of it.
Yeah, I mean, he was the main part of that, side
he
story.
Kind of brought some campiness to it because, like a lot of the comedic relief was through him as well. Like he's a drunk pilot and he's just kind of like basically, he was a screw up.
Yeah.
We still never really know if he was really abducted.
So that's the thing is like you don't know if like that's just how he's always been, or was he just like really messed up mentally because of like a past traumatic experience, like the one where he talks about he's been abducted and he's been kind of weird ever since.
That's why he's in the film, though. I think he's in the film because I think the directors or the writers were like, hey, you know how people always say that they were abducted? What if we throw a guy like that in there?
Like that.
What if we did that? And what if we put somewhere in the plot line that, he said they were coming and he also gets to be the one that kind of provides a level of retribution?
which was pretty awesome.
I mean, to me, it's kind of like that full circle thing, like where like nobody believes him, nobody believes him, and now everyone has to believe him because it's really happening. And not only they believe him, but now he gets to be the hero in the.
He gets the last laugh.
So, yeah, exactly. And literally, he's laughing as he dies, so he truly gets the last laugh.
Yeah, you know what? Fun fact: James Duval plays one of his unimportant kids. Do you know who that is, Steph?
That name sounds
James
familiar.
Duval?
Yeah, so James Duval played Frank in Donnie Darko.
Right.
Oh, that's cool.
I kept thinking too. He looks familiar. He looks familiar. He looks familiar. And every time I would start scrolling through IMDb, I'd always get distracted by somebody else. Like, oh, who's that?
Any relation to Robert Duvall?
You know, I don't think so. I don't think he looks anything like him.
Okay.
I wouldn't have guessed that his name is James Duval either.
No, he doesn't seem like it. His name is Miguel in the damn movie, so I don't know. Who the hell knows what he is?
But yeah, I would have actually expected that, again, because as a now parent, that, anything with kids always just affects me.
Yeah.
And so, as we've made very, very clear over the last however many episodes, I thought that would be the part that would get me to cry. I mean, it still was, child involved when I actually did cry.
When he's like, tell my son I love him.
Yeah, tell my kids I love them. Tell my children. And he's like, the son's there, and he's like, wait, no. And then he does this thing or whatever. And
so how many times did you cry? Was that number 3?
No, it was just the one. I only cried the one time.
Oh, see, there's only 2 movies that make me cry, so it doesn't matter.
What movies are those, Cameron?
Up will make me cry twice every movie.
Wow.
Okay. Every time I watch it, it'll make me cry twice. And then Schindler's List makes me cry every time I see it. So.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Not to bring us down. Bring it back up, Eric.
Those are some...
Schindler's List, another one of those World War II movies.
Yeah, what are those? Those don't exist.
No, I'll cry for just about anything, especially if nowadays, especially if there are kids involved. And speaking of which, I was actually thinking, at the part where Jasmine's her name, right?
The Will Smith's girl.
Everything's being exploded, and she sees the fire coming, and she, grabs her son and runs. I was like, if that was me in 2022 with all of the car seats and all of the straps and 3 kids, we would have died. Because obviously her kid wasn't in a car seat, even though he was still car seat age.
Yeah, that's true.
And so she just grabs him and they take off. And I'm like, all right. Yeah, me and my family would have for sure died. Because I wouldn't have been able to get one out of all the car seat straps before the fire hit us.
Well, let's just be honest. Fire looks for the nearest source of fuel, which oxygen is one of those sources. And so, even if she had realistically, if she had made into that tunnel,
it would have gone into that room.
Still would have gone in.
Oh yeah.
That
was the other thing where I was like, good for her to find a shelter, but she should have shut that door.
Well, she had to wait for the dog.
Yeah. Yeah, if she would have shut that door, I think it would have been a slightly more realistic. Because obviously the fire is not just going to zoom by and open the door. And
stay there, yeah. And how you feel about that? I was like really torn up because I'm like, they're really going to leave that dog? I'm like, that's fucked up. And then she actually calls for the dog. So I'm like, go! And it's funny because the dog's just all happy. He's just like, hey, this is fun. The dog's not really an actor. So he doesn't understand I'm supposed to be terrified or something right now.
Right.
That's true. But he is an actor. He got credit for that role.
But how we're talking about the movie gets right into the action. What I really liked about it was how the characters kind of had the slow reaction to the aliens, though. Case in point was when Captain Stephen Hiller, played by Will Smith, he has that delayed reaction when he's like, I'm gonna go check the paper or whatever. So he walks outside, and he's just like, whatever. And so he's reading the paper and he sees that everyone around him's kind of panicking, and he does the slow turn to the right and the left, and he's like, what the fuck? And so he looks up past the paper and there's the giant flying saucer or whatever over LA, right? And and that's when he loses his shit. But I was like, man, that's such an awesome reveal, because I like the slow kind of anticipation of showing the alien ships.
I think they did that with all of the main characters, and then they let all the side characters be either completely terrified or kind of crazy about it, almost like they were excited
Fanatics,
by it.
Right?
Yeah, because even Jeff Goldblum's character in the film, he has sort of the same reaction where it's almost like he's not afraid. Because he's an MIT, he's a tech guy, and he's trying to figure out what this series of information that's coming on his computer is, and what this signal means, and then realizes, oh no, this is a timer. And even in that moment, his reaction isn't scared or terrified or run and hide. His reaction is, I got to get this information into the right hands. And it's kind of cool. You see people kind of doing things you wouldn't expect most of humanity to do. You expect them to do one or the other, be fanatics or be completely terrified. And you have these two people that are kind of calm, and it kind of shows you that they are really the people that are the heroes of the film.
Yeah, they're the ones who jump into action rather than freak out.
Yeah.
What do you think you guys would be doing? Which one would you be, the fanatic or the?
I'd be losing my shit.
I think honestly, I think I'm pretty quick on how I analyze things, and I'm not one to stress about. I mean, Eric can tell you this. I don't stress about hardly anything ever. I don't get mad about anything hardly ever. I'm pretty low key and calm about everything, and I have a very slow reaction time even to negative things. I have to really contemplate them, but I do it pretty quickly. But I don't know if I'd be terrified, but I would definitely start preparing. But I think it's because of, I was a Boy Scout when I was 12 years old for like 2 years. Didn't make it very far in Scouts, but I did it for like 2 years. And the motto was the motto was be prepared. And so like even at my house now, I've got, several months of food saved up and water and tools, and I can build a lot of things. And so I've tried to be prepared, and I think that I try and stay as calm as I could, especially, and I think you would too. I don't think you realize you would, Steph, but I think you would too, because you have kids and you need to show them it's going to be okay. If you freak out, they get scareder than they already are. More scared.
That's true.
I don't.
Well, I hope to never have to be in a situation like that, but I think I would have to be in that situation to find that, because I feel like I would be one of the freak out people.
I actually remember the most pissed I've ever seen Cameron. He was playing, I forget what game, but he was playing like some game on his computer. This was back at his parents' house. He had the room in the very back. And, I was sitting next to him. I was watching him play.
What game was this?
I don't remember. I want to say it was like some sort of like RPG adventure game, like a CRPG.
Probably.
But he kept dying on this like same part over and over again. And I remember he was just like, he took a deep breath and he was just like, damn it.
And I still do that to this day. I go, damn it.
And that was the most pissed I've ever. That was like one vein in his neck,
That's hilarious.
Oh man, it was hilarious. Like that shit cracked me up.
Did you laugh then?
I think he made fun of me. I think in that moment, if I'm not mistaken, I think he made fun of me. I think I said it, and then he like giggled and then went, damn it. And then I think he told me, I think he said something like, dude, I would have already broken 2 controllers by now.
Yeah,
Right.
pretty much. Did you guys catch all of the awesome action movie one-liners that Will Smith's character was spitting throughout this movie?
Oh God, that's what in the beginning I said we get to see Will Smith that is Will Smithist. It truly is.
So let's take a moment. Let's highlight all of the memorable one-liners that he had in this movie, and let's just pay tribute.
Okay, go ahead. You gonna read them off?
I'll read them off. So he said,
okay.
I know you did not shoot that green shit at me.
That's the one where he kicks the alien. And he's like,
yeah, exactly. Well, that when he says that's when they were first flying in their jets, and I think they had the aerial battle, and so the ships were shooting like the little lasers, and he was like, "You did not shoot that green shit at me." I think even before that, he was all like, "No, I'm just a little anxious to get up there and whoop ET's ass." These are all just like these like really macho like action movie one-liners. Here's the line. So after the alien ship crashes, and then he goes and punches it, whatever,
knocks it out through its exoskeleton thing.
Exactly, and he gives it the memorable line, "Welcome to Earth." So I don't know about you guys, but I kind of remembered it differently before I rewatched the movie. I always thought, and I even saw memes about this, I don't know why I always thought he said it, "Welcome to Earth," like with an F. Like I thought he just says it to be obnoxious, like "Welcome to Earth." But I even saw memes about this that kind of like supported, like my memory of this. But I don't know, like,
do you think that's just like your racist mind going crazy?
I think it is. I think it's like some sort of like weird Mandela effect. I wonder if like a lot of people just thought he said it that way, and maybe I saw a meme back in the day, and I just kind of thought like, oh, I just assumed, like he.
Oh, is that like the Berenstain versus Berenstein, and like people thought Mandela had died like 20 years
Exactly,
before he
yeah.
actually died. I got you. I got you.
It's like, so like the Mandela effect is basically when you know for sure that something happened, you remember specific details, but then in reality something like that never actually happened. And I think the main example that I can think of was Brenda was, I think she was studying something for school, and they were talking about the Mandela effect. And they were talking about how the Chick-fil-A signs with the cows, it says like eat more chicken, and they like misspell it or whatever. So a lot of people remember the K being backwards. And a lot of people swore, they're like, yeah, that K is backwards, but it's actually not.
I agree. I would have sworn it was backwards as well.
Yeah.
Honestly, I like even now I'm a little bit incredulous that it's not backwards. Like I want to look it up.
Yeah,
So
if you look it up, like
And look, you're not crazy.
welcome to Earth. Yeah. I don't. So you see what I'm saying?
Is that backwards to you? I don't know, but it says PSA. Will Smith never said "Welcome to Earth" in Independence Day. A search for the origins of a meme that will not die.
And I was one of the
and
ones
maybe
that
it was
believed
the
it.
meme that puts it in your head or something. But
That's
yeah,
what I'm
I
thinking.
agree. Like the Chick-fil-A, I just looked it up, and you're right. The K is spelled correctly, but I thought it was backwards as well.
Yeah, I thought so too. I think
That's
everyone
hilarious.
did, for the most part. And then they were just talking about like, there's everyone thinks this way, and they're certain that the K is backwards, but it's not.
Yeah.
So let me run through the last few lines here before we continue. So after that awesome "Welcome to Earth" line that was never said.
That doesn't exist. Yeah.
Right after that, he also throws in, "Now that's what I call a close encounter."
Yeah.
To again break
Yeah.
the tension, right?
I remember, and I was like, "Dang, he just said that."
Let's be honest.
And I was thinking, like, I would be freaking out. I would be freaking, like, I would be like, "Oh my god!" Like, first of all, I wouldn't have punched an alien and then just expected it to be out and then turn around and had a cigar.
Like, what the fuck?
let's be honest though. Like Steph said, he punches it through its exosuit,
Yeah.
knocks it out, and then drags it through the desert. God knows how many miles, and it never wakes up.
No.
Like,
well, it was
come
about
on,
3. He said that when he shows up, what was his name, Dr. Oken? He says,
Yeah.
"How long has it been unconscious?" And Will Smith says, 3 hours.
3 hours.
And it's like. Well, wait a second. Like, I'm not wearing an exosuit, and I don't know if you know this because movies always get this wrong, and I don't know why they do it. But supposedly they'll knock somebody out, and it'll be like hours later they wake up.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. If that happens, you're in a coma. That's called a coma.
Right.
Because typically when you get your lights knocked out,
You come back pretty quick, right?
you come back within a few seconds because that's the way your brain works. Now you may be dazed and confused. You may not be able to walk right for a little while. You may have some dizziness. You may not have the same like muscle mobility that you normally, but you're still with it and awake, and you can like, it's almost like the movies that get it best is when they knock somebody out, and then as they're like dragging them, you can see like their eyes opening, and it like shows that kind of like shutter effect where it's like closing and opening, because that's how it really works. Is you're kind of, but this alien's knocked out for the better part of 3 hours.
Yeah, what a bitch.
and then literally
After
comes
being
to
punched
at
through his
the point when
exosuit.
they're doing their autopsy on it, if you will, to opening it up.
Perfect timing. And of course, there was the line that, "I have got to get me one of these." Cheesy.
When he's
I like the
flying
one
the
where-
other craft.
Yeah.
So cheesy. Like, this would happen in real life, right? When he reunites with Jasmine, and she's like, "You're late," and he's like, "I like to make an entrance or whatever."
Yeah.
I would have just been like hugging and crying, and
Well, it's similar to Jeff Goldblum's lines when they're up in the ship, and he has his little like Jeff Goldblum-esque lines when yeah, fat lady.
Enough of the fat lady. You're obsessed with the fat lady.
Yeah, exactly. He's got that Jeff Goldblum-esque
Stammering,
style
yeah.
of talk. Yeah, hot dogs. Hot dogs are good. I like a hot dog with a bun and ketchup. Wait a second. I'm vegan.
Why am I eating this? So speaking of Jeff Goldblum, his character David Levinston, what I want to know is why the hell was he the only one that picked up the signal?
So he's an MIT graduate. That's what he did was like data encryption and analyzing things like that.
So we don't have a damn capable person in the military that's like, their job is to like fucking intersect like signals out of the air or whatever.
But he has to be able to get it back in touch with his
ex-wife or whatever.
Well, I don't even know if they're divorced, right? Are they divorced?
Right?
Are they exes? Or are they just separated because he had punched the president at one point? So, I mean, that's the thing, is they have to bring these two characters together. And what better way to do it than give him this job as an MIT graduate that analyzes.
He's the only one that can do it.
And maybe he was the
And
best
he's
of
the only one that
best.
can do it on his like 1996,
Right.
whatever that computer is that he has that probably weighs like 30 pounds as he's carting it on his lap, but yeah, so he has to reunite with his wife and show her that he's a hero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, back in the day, obviously he worked for the military or at least the government at some point. Maybe he was the best of the best, and he, left because, well, it seems like, him and his wife breaking up broke his heart or whatever.
That was the wedge,
and then
right.
he became, what is it, a cable install guy or something?
He like works for Charter, like some shit.
But he's like obviously one of the heads.
Actually, I feel like he's like still like a field agent. Like he's not even like the guy that has an office. He's just like, yeah, all right. He's like, yeah, I'll head over to that house right now. I'll install that satellite for them.
He's working his second shift of overtime.
Adulthood.
So now that the alien ships, the flying saucers, or if you will, are positioned, it's actually pretty interesting because the aliens, they don't actually strike until like 45 minutes in the movie. So this whole time is just kind of the slow buildup. So it's like the aliens show up really fast, but then they're just kind of sitting there, and everyone, I think they're around the time that they're doing a lot of the character development. That's when they're building up the anticipation. Like, okay, so now we have this countdown that we have to worry about. What's going to happen once this signal fades all the way? The president has to worry about like making sure people aren't panicking. But of course, what's the first thing everyone does when the president gets on TV and is like, hey, the shit's scary, but don't panic. If you need to leave the cities, do so in an orderly fashion.
Orderly fashion.
Everyone's gonna fucking lose their shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but actually at the beginning of the movie, it was talking about he was like, I think his daughter was watching the news or whatever, and then they're talking about how his approval ratings were pretty low.
I didn't vote for him.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
what if this is one of those like wag the dog type scenarios, and all of this was just to improve his ratings? That's what the movie's really about. Is just this president.
There you go.
It's like creating a war. Presidents live like, oh, he created a war with Iraq. He created a war with Afghanistan. This guy created a war with some extraterrestrial species just to get his approval ratings up.
And
The loss of his wife endears him to the community. Oh my God, he lost his wife. He's a single dad. And especially when he gets he pilots one of the aircraft by himself, as well. And he's like, I'm a pilot, damn it. What's the actual line? You got it there, Eric, somewhere. I know you do.
I belong in there. That guy.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say something else, but I was gonna give it like a British accent. A shepherd must tend his flock.
Sean Connery's in this movie.
No, there's nobody in this movie that delivers lines quite like Sean Connery.
The penis martia.
Right.
Best line ever delivered in a movie is delivered by Sean Connery in the movie The Rock, and he's talking to Nicolas Cage. Yep. He's talking to Nicolas Cage, and he says his name is Goodspeed, and he says, "Can you get it done, Goodspeed?" And Nicolas Cage says,
"I'll try my best."
"I'll try my best." And Sean Connery, in his most Sean Connery accent, goes, "Try your best. Losers try their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen." Best line
Another
ever.
action one-liner, right? Because Sean Connery's a badass. So now that the countdown reaches, I don't know if it's considered reaching 0. It just fades away. So the countdown's over, and this is probably like one of the best parts of the movie, because the alien ship, they start opening up, and I just thought like the whole concept of it was mesmerizing. It has like that neon like blue light and shit. And you got people like on top of the US Bank Tower. I guess it was known as the Library Tower back then in LA. And so they're like on the roof, and they're just like, beam us away or whatever. And I mean, they don't know they're about to get a fucking shotgun blast to the face right now. And the same thing's happening.
Just a shotgun blast.
And a laser blast. And it's happening all around the world at the same time. Like in New York, the same thing's happening, but to the Empire State Building. And I don't like those lasers. Obviously, I think the slow effect of the preparation has to open up and has to like charge. It shoots down like that little tractor beam looking thing first before it like actually shoots the laser. And I think a lot of people were probably thinking like, why the fuck is their main weapon so damn slow? It takes like 10 minutes for it to actually fire anything off. But I think, like the dramatic effect of it was just awesome. Like I still enjoyed it to this day.
Well, not
love
just
it,
that,
yeah.
but why don't they go out and build their own city fucking destroying laser and see how quickly they can blast it off?
Right?
You
No,
know, I mean, even in
great.
Star Wars movies, which technically, you know, some of these people are so advanced, they have these like world-killing lasers. Even those ones take time to charge up. And come on, man, it's a
Yeah.
laser. Yeah, I thought the laser
That
was
is
awesome. I
true.
thought the buildup was good, and I thought the buildup to me, not only was it good for that portion of the movie because it let you know that the tension was building. You were waiting for something to happen, and then this destruction just kind of consumes entire cities. Which, by the way, if we've learned anything from the Marvel movies, Transformers, Independence Day, don't live in LA, don't live in New York. Let's go to
Right?
Idaho.
Yeah.
Okay, Boise's where it's at. But not only does it do that, is at the end of the movie when that laser's charging up, you know that there's a little bit of time for him to get his rocket up there,
Yeah.
and for is his name Chase?
Russell Case.
Russell Case, for him to get his rocket to, you know, give it back to them, if you will. Because if it was a quick laser, then it's like there's no way for him to get it inside that thing in the time that it opens and fires
Yeah.
off. So I think it was like a precursor to
Some
that.
foreshadowing.
They didn't want to make it seem like something was fast and then it was incredibly slow at the end. It was the same speed throughout the movie.
Yeah, it was
kind
And
of
again,
it was very, very well
still
done.
looks great. Still looks great.
Oh,
you know, 20,
Very consistent.
Looks
very
awesome.
well done.
some years later.
And that White House blowing up scene, dare I say, that shit's iconic. Like, every time you think of Independence Day, you always think of the White House blowing up. And, you know, I feel like in a lot of other countries, if you were to show like some sort of like really prominent building getting destroyed, you'd be executed, you know? But like, we have the freedom to be able to show that here, and we enjoy the hell out of it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I thought I could have sworn when I was a kid and I was looking at the DVD box, I thought that the front picture was the picture of the White House exploding, but that's not what it is on the picture, correct? It's like a city,
I
right?
think it's a city, yeah.
Or is it? I don't know. Maybe because I remember that too. It's just like the White House, not exploding, but it's the White House with the ship looming over it.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was, but I've looked back at it since then. You know, when you reached out and you're like, hey, do you want to do it? I looked back. I was doing some research. I couldn't find a picture like that except for inside the movie. There's nothing on the internet of it as part of their like fan art.
So when you pull up the box art, like it was a show. It
Yeah.
just shows the ship.
No. Here we go. No. Here we go.
Is it?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's the White
And
House.
what was
There it
that
is.
from? So that must have been something that was like outside of movie theaters on their
It's
actual.
the DVD cover.
Oh.
Is it?
So we were used to the VHS version, you know, the one that has that little holographic.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
maybe
you turn
that's all it was.
you turn it, and like the lasers like shooting up and down. That thing was awesome.
Yeah,
It is good stuff. Classic 90s again.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like that scene of like the White House blown up, that it just like sticks with you, and that's why I feel like it's like such a memorable scene, because it's like even after the movie, like that's one of the main scenes you see.
I feel like all the explosions stick with me.
I think what it does too is, and I don't know if they meant this because I hate to read into things what people didn't intend to be there, but I think what it really says is that White House is not our government. Our government is us. We are the people. We are the government. We make decisions. We're a republic, and so as a republic, that building really doesn't mean anything. It's a figurehead. It's a statesman's house, right? But realistically, our government is wherever we happen to be at that time.
Wherever it needs to be. Yeah, they can relocate. That's why they, you know.
And in this movie, Area 51.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
they're on Air Force One, you know, flying to Area 51. One of the big like fight scenes in the movie was the first aerial dogfight. So Captain Hiller, Will Smith, he leads the counterattack. So this was right after all the cities just got like blown to bits.
Ooh, wait, before we get into even more action, I just wanted to give a shout out, which I totally forgot to do when we were actually talking about it. Is since I love the visuals so much in this movie, I just wanted to give it a shout out to when the ships are first coming into the atmosphere and all the clouds are around them.
That was cool.
Before they break through the clouds. I thought that was one of the things that always sticks with me when I watch this movie. That's always one of my favorite things to see, and it still holds up.
It's terrifying because it
is.
Also it has like this like weird cloak over the ship, because it's part of the dramatic like reveal, right? Is like you still don't even quite know what the ships look like. They're like covered in smoke and fire and clouds and stuff, and then finally they like
I always
breach
love that
through
scene.
that.
Yeah, they break through it. Yeah. I always love those.
Awesome.
Seeing those, yeah. I just imagine because I already like looking at the sky and seeing the clouds, especially when you can see like different layers of clouds and see how close they are and how far they are, and
sunsets,
or
and
when
stuff.
You can see a lot of stars and it makes the sky look so vast.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine seeing something like that.
It literally takes up like the whole city, like it covers the whole fucking city. It's trippy.
It would be the whole sky. Yeah, so it would be great.
I mean,
that was great.
A nerd reference here. So it's almost like one of the plates in Midgar in Final Fantasy VII. Like you don't get a sky, you know.
That's true.
But so Captain Hiller leads the counterattack after all the cities just got wiped out, and he leads his Black Knight squadron. And this was supposed to be like that, like awesome, like let's go fucking tear shit up type of moments.
Right.
And so this is where we discover that all of the ships, not even just the like flying saucers, but even the little like individual fighter jets, like the alien fighter jets, they all have energy shields that pretty much render our conventional weapons ineffective against them. It's disheartening because they get completely trounced in this scene. Like Captain Hiller narrowly survives using his resourcefulness, but like when it's showing the console back at like wherever their base camp is, they're dropping like flies. On the run, they're getting picked off, and they don't put up a fight at all. I think they get wiped out, and it seems like something that would take like 20 minutes. That's like as much of a fight as they're able to put up.
Yeah, and I think honestly, he the only way that he gets to have the upper hand on the one ship that's following him is basically to juke it out and eject himself from his own ship and let that other ship crash land.
Mm-hmm. He's more familiar with like the canyon that he was flying through, and he's doing like almost like erratic evasive maneuvers. And I think the alien was like trying to kind of predict like what his flight path was going to be, but it was just like, all right, well, and of course the canyons are providing cover because he's like hitting those sharp corners. And that's where he was able to release that parachute to kind of blind it for a second.
Plus the alien doesn't have any thumbs, so that's going to hinder it. She just got those like weird like
little like stringy fingers.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe it was flying it with its mind. Maybe it doesn't even have like a. Well, actually, it does have a steering wheel, doesn't it?
Yeah,
because that's how they're
for
later.
Convenience.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Modified American style.
I guess going back to when that ship crashed. So why did the shield fail them when it ran into the cliff or whatever? Like I feel like the shield should have still been operational. It would have like bounced off maybe like a ball or something.
I would imagine that if you put enough padding on your car, you could sustain certain injury, certain damage right to your car. But eventually you hit something hard enough for long enough, all that padding wears away. You still damage your car, Also,
I think just one person going in there, I don't think the shield will deflect that, because there's a scene later where he puts the Jeff Goldblum or whatever puts the Coke can on the ship, and then demonstrates that there's still a shield, and then he puts the virus, uploads the virus and takes down the shield. So he was able to put the Coke can in there, and the shield didn't deflect that, So I guess someone just walking up to it won't really.
Let me throw this out there then. Do you think maybe it's kind of like the shields in Dune? Like, have you guys seen Dune, the new one?
No,
not yet.
I saw the old one,
okay.
the old miniseries that was on TV back in the, what was it, 80s?
Well, they have shields in the movie, and the way I don't even think they explain it, but the way they showcase it is that I think if something is moving slow enough, it can kind of penetrate it, no problem. But it's like it only blocks like high velocity, like something that could be like really like life-threatening. And so I wonder if that's kind of like why he was able to just like easily put the Coke can through the shield. He's like in the shield, technically. But then when Major Mitchell fires off that bullet, it just like ricochets off of it.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, maybe it only something that would actually damage it is what it deflects, kind of thing, maybe.
These shields supposedly can withstand like nukes and whatnot, but like it ran into this cliff and the shield didn't do anything.
Didn't even deflect the coma-inducing punch.
Well, you know what they say? Horsepower is how fast you're going. Torque is how much of the wall you're taking with you when you hit it.
Here's a nerd alert for you guys. Another nerd alert. So, how, Cameron, you mentioned earlier that the aliens kind of reminded you of the Zerg.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
The invading aliens in general, they reminded me of the Protoss race from StarCraft. I feel like in a lot of ways they had a lot of similarities to the Protoss.
That's kind of true because they use the energy weapons and
Yeah.
Yeah,
they have
no,
like a lot
I
of
can
energy
see that.
stuff going on.
I think from the standpoint that they just come, take all the resources and leave was very Zerg-like. Not that they looked or acted like the Zerg. They are much more like the Protoss in their weaponry
Their
and the
technology.
fact that they have exosuits like the Zealots do and the Dragoons do. I didn't see any
They're a little
stealth
bit of both,
technology like the Arbiters. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a little bit of both. They're alien, the Zerg in the fact that they're are meant to wipe things out because they believe that they are pure and that they should have access to all the resources that a planet has because they're stronger. And they're more like the Protoss in the fact that they have this advanced technology that basically has taken them across light years of space, and they can, destroy things with great beams of light.
It's pretty trippy, yeah, because I almost feel like their bodies are so frail, but like their technology is so advanced that that's what makes them formidable opponents, And they, some might say they may even rely too much on the technology because they have like these exosuits, because their bodies are like these little fucking shriveled looking things, and I think they don't have mouths either, like Protoss, so they communicate telepathically or like psionically, whatever.
How often when you're just sitting by yourself and you sit down at a computer, or maybe you're sitting down to watch TV, and in your head you say Antaro Dune Executor?
Almost never, but now I will.
Okay, thanks for making me feel like I'm the only loser out there.
All right, going back to the movie. What were your guys' thoughts on Area 51? Because I feel like, this is always like that like infamous secret layer that no one was supposed to know about, and so I feel like you see a lot of different interpretations of Area 51, and this was just one of them.
For me, it was lackluster.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of fun, like seeing everything that they had going on there. Imagining like, oh, if that was real, kind of thing. That would be crazy to find out. If you're the president and they're all of a sudden like, well, actually, there's totally something there, and then you go and you find out, and I would have just been like, whoa, that's kind of how I looked at it.
I think for me, there was two parts of the movie that were kind of lackluster. One is I think it's kind of incredibly like backwards that a Secretary of Defense is going to have more knowledge on Area 51 than the president, since the president usually chooses his cabinet members after he's elected. So why would the secretary know more than he does? But neither here nor there. And then they get to Area 51.
Deniability.
Yeah, but then they get to Area 51, and it's like, it just seems like there's not the level of security that you would expect as far as number of personnel. It seems almost like a ghost town, kind of like, besides a few doctors you see walking around. I just didn't see as many people as I thought I would see. And maybe that's how you keep a conspiracy down, is you only have the 8 staff members that are there and you kill them off as they try to retire or something like that. But I didn't. It was just kind of almost unbelievable, but maybe that's what makes it what it is.
Why are you underestimating these lab geeks? You don't think they could hold their own?
No, let's be honest. Brent Spiner's character, Dr. Oaken, was so excited to see another human being.
As a lab geek, I can assure you that no, we cannot hold our own.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, the dude literally gets an alien. The alien wraps it around his freaking neck, like in the movie. And let's not even talk about what happens to him in part 2, which came out 20 years later.
I didn't even see part 2 yet. I have it.
I actually told Cameron, I was like, if you haven't seen was it Resurgence? I'm like, don't see it. That movie sucks.
Yeah, I'm pretty easy to please. I just enjoy, being entertained, and I'm not super critical. So most of the time, I enjoy things. It takes some heavy suckiness for it to for me to not like it.
I agree. I'm the same way. I'm pretty easy to please when it comes to movies. I'm pretty critical of them. Like, I like to talk about them and tell you what I like and didn't like. But as far as the enjoyability factor, whether I would watch it again, I'm pretty much like, yeah, I'd watch it again. I'd watch any movie again, really.
So I actually liked the fact that Area 51, it plays off of the UFO conspiracies of Roswell, New Mexico, like the big conspiracies that everyone knows about, and plenty of people think that it actually happened.
The weather balloon.
Because like what they were explaining was like a lot of the story was being changed, you know, by like the government. Like they're saying like, oh, it was we there was nothing, like we didn't see anything, and then like they showed evidence of like this like weird like circular object, and they're like, oh, that's like a deflated weather balloon. We just sent it out to space to see what the weather is like up there, and it's just like a lot of the story just kept changing, and like they kept like kind of like reworking the narrative, and so that's why a lot of people think it was a cover up.
Yeah, and I mean honestly at this point, and I'm not trying. I mean, everyone that knows me knows I love a good conspiracy theory, not because I'm a conspiracy theorist, but because I think they're fun. I'm still a person that likes to look for Sasquatch if I'm in the woods. So, crazy as crazy does. But as far as conspiracy theories go, I mean, there's been so many lies our government has told us over the years, and only because of things like the Freedom of Information Act, we're finally finding out certain things. And now, the U.S. Air Force and NASA's confirmed, yeah, we've encountered objects that we didn't know what they were. It doesn't mean they're aliens. It just means at the time that we didn't know what they were. And maybe it was just some anomaly. Maybe it was something else. But that's the thing is like it wouldn't take much for our government to lie to us if they thought, A, it would keep us safe, B, it would keep us under control, and 3, it would keep us from I like doing A, B, and 3. Keep us from, getting crazy and just running amok. So
panicking, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it is to, keep the panic down.
Yeah.
I think this may have been one of my other top moments of the movie because, it's almost like morbid curiosity, but when they start operating on the alien, they're like trying to like extract it from its like exoskeleton and everything. And because at first you think like that's what they look like. That's like that outer layer is them, Well,
I mean, if you're paying attention, they showed the ones
earlier in the tapes,
before. Yeah, and they're like, oh, once we took them out of their exoskeleton, their exosuits or whatever, we realized that they're pretty fragile like us. It's just they have this technology keeping them safe. So they knew what was in there. We just didn't.
It was almost like a clamshell, right? Like it was like really like moist and stuff once you opened it up. And
yeah, it seems like an organic thing. Like they created an organic
biosuit, right?
Yeah, shield for them.
But it was cool because outside it was almost like bone. It was like their skeleton was on the outside, quite literally.
or like a very tense, fibrous muscle shell.
Oh, maybe, yeah. And it was cool because to me, it was almost like this by design, right? Like it almost had this intimidating look. Like it almost had like this like glaring look, even though like that wasn't the actual facial expression of the alien.
I felt like they were trying to make them look as unique as possible and as scary as possible, but then also show that they were, all in all, just as fragile as any other species could be, right? I think that was kind of the goal. Is like it's like their ships. Their ships are incredibly impervious to any type of weapon damage, but they still can get a virus uploaded in their systems just like any other.
My question is why, when they were operating, did they have to move the 3 aliens that they already had into the room with them?
Did they really? I don't remember that.
If I recall correctly,
I think they're already in there. I think
they just used that room.
Yeah, I think it's on this like back wall, and then there's like the circular area inside where they're doing the operation. I think it's just in that room, but that's where they've did previous operations. I'm imagining
this aquarium of like alien specimens.
Yeah, well, that's what it looks like. It looks like a display case, almost like some type of macabre display case, like you would see somebody doing. Yeah, it's like people put like butterflies on little pens, and those wooden with the glass. Yeah. This is our version of the aliens. Like we just didn't have pens big enough to plug them up there.
No wonder they're pissed. We treat them like game, like we just like mount their heads on the wall and we're like, oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Look at those fuckers.
They came to us first. This was our planet. It was here when we got here. It was
warranted, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that scene though was just terrifying because it's like, even though the suit's like disabled and it's like opened up, it's kind of like hanging out of it like a Joey. Like it.
You can tell that it still controls every part of the appendages.
It's weird, like the tendrils were like freaking like violently like withering, and I was just like, man, that thing is freaky looking. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It was almost like Doc Ock, like it had the tendrils coming out of its back, right?
Yeah, it did.
And it clearly has some level of telepathy because it communicates with President Whitmore, even though he's not even in the room.
Right.
And they were saying that's probably how they communicate. They were saying that's probably how they communicate because they don't have vocal cords.
Right.
And so they were guessing already. But yeah, I mean, as many times as I've seen this movie, I still jump when Dr. Oaken hits the window.
Oh.
Yeah.
Every time. And I was sitting there like, it's coming. Ah!
My question with that scene is like, why the hell is the glass not bulletproof? Like, you know, when he's like, is that glass bulletproof? And he's like, no, sir. And they just start like blasting the alien. I'm like, listen, if I'm working on like potentially dangerous extraterrestrials, you know, I'm studying them, I don't know what the hell they're capable of. I would have the thickest, toughest fucking glass invented. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have that shit locked down.
This is what's crazy to me is you know, growing up, Eric, didn't you break one of your windows like by like you accidentally threw a shoe at it or something like
Did
that?
I really? I don't remember that.
I don't know. I know I had a friend that like broke a window pretty easily by like throwing a shoe at it. This thing gets a fucking body slammed at it at full speed with alien force from its fucking exoskeleton, and the glass stays intact. Like, that's the part that I'm like, if it's not bulletproof, why did they make it seem like it was super durable when they slammed this guy's body against it? I don't know. It just...
I was wondering that too, actually. Yeah, with why didn't it break then?
Yeah, I've seen glass break pretty easily, like all over, like windows break in cars, and like I've seen people like trying to roll their window down, and like the actuator fails, and it like drops into itself and just shatters inside the door. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, like if you're in this like underground bunker and you're working on some really dangerous shit, you know, something that could potentially destroy humanity, like I'm just having that shit locked down, and that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree.
And you know, after the president, you know, he has that like quick like mind meld with the alien before he gets blasted. His first reaction is to nuke it. He's like, let's nuke the sons of bitches.
I know. And at first he was like, no, we can't nuke them. At first he was like, we can't nuke them. And all of a sudden he's like, yeah, let's nuke them.
Yeah, I think that my the part that I thought was amusing was when Levinson's dad is like, they're like talking, and they're I don't know what they're talking about, but somehow that's how he comes up with the idea for uploading a virus, is just like this innocuous conversation with his dad. It's not like he's like trying to solve the problem. He's like obviously he's trying to solve the problem. He's thinking about it, but it's like this like random comment his dad makes, and he's like, a cold. We'll give it a cold. We'll give it a cold. Yeah.
You're a genius.
Again, this is like giving more responsibility to this character, so that way like we can keep him in the movie. Because otherwise, his ass should have just stayed at Area 51 and let Will Smith, because Will Smith can fucking punch his way through the mothership, apparently.
Yeah. Well, you know what it reminded me of is, I don't know if you guys ever watched that TV series House.
Yeah, I used to.
But okay, on that show, invariably, House is trying to solve this problem, and so he's actively trying to solve a case, right? And he's like, I don't know what it is. It's got to be amyloidosis. It's got to be sarcoidosis. Blah. And he's doing this whole thing, and then he'll have like a random conversation with like a little girl at the cafeteria, and she'll be like, "No, it's my French toast." And he's like, "French toast, that's it." You know, he goes back and solves the case because of something that some innocuous stranger said in some like haphazard way, like somewhere along the episode. That's what I felt like that part of the movie was like. Jeff Goldblum's been working on this problem for like 24 hours straight, like no sleep, and his dad's like, "Oh, you better take a nap. You're gonna get a cold." And he's like, "That's it, Dad. We'll give it a cold." You know?
Yeah, so. The stupid catch a cold or create a computer virus plot line to infect and compromise the alien system is still stupid, in my opinion.
Especially if we assume that they're telepathic and that they don't recognize any telepathic signals coming from the ship that comes into their mothership. Like, I'm like, what is this all about?
You're really going to be using like similar technology, like computer technology with us, especially back then when our computers were a lot less advanced than they are now. But apparently that was on par with what the aliens were using, not too far off.
Unless they had on their planet, it was some type of like Fallout-like thing. I don't know if you've ever played Fallout series, but in Fallout, because of the nuclear arms race, everything went like nuclear instead of the superconductors and computers. And so everything is more advanced on the nuclear side and like the fission side and energy side, but so far behind on how computing actually works. And that's why those, computers all have the green screens and stuff. So maybe they had something similar where in their history of their race, the computer technology didn't take off as well as the space travel technology took off. I don't know.
Similar with their bodysuits, apparently.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. And the way their shield technology can stop nukes, but not sand.
Or tin cans.
Yeah, or tin cans.
What'd you think of it, Steph? Like, what'd you think of the whole computer virus catching a cold plotline?
Yeah, it's interesting to think of it now because we're so much further advanced than we were then. But I feel like, at that time, they're like, oh, the height of technology and going against, their technology. We're so badass. And then we look back on it now and we're like, man, it's freaking lame.
Yeah,
They're
well,
using this little like Windows 95 computer and just hacking into this alien ship.
you half expected like when he's like hacking in for it to start like
Right?
like dialing up to some 56K modem. And they're like, welcome, you've got goodbye.
And then how long it takes the virus to upload, I was just like, yeah, the 90s.
Yeah, and let's talk about that percentage, like how viruses upload in movies in general, or how they download in movies in general. They get like this big fucking
Loading
thing
bar
on the screen that shows
Right.
shows like,
The loading.
when we all know that's not how it happens, because in real,
No.
like, you've all downloaded something, you'll get stuck at 14% for 2 hours and then jump to 84%.
Hey, that was that quick DSL speed back then.
Yeah, we've all done the Net 3.5 update for Windows. We know that it jumps around. It doesn't show you one standard line.
Right.
It'll take 500 days to download this, and then it just like jumps to like, okay, 5 minutes.
Yeah. We've all used LimeWire before.
Well, Napster, they were
Good
the
times.
OG.
Oh, Napster, FrostWire, LimeWire, whatever it was. We've all used it where it's
I
like
used all of them.
your speed goes from like 26 kilobytes per second back then, and it was like you got to 56. You're like, yes, I doubled my time. And then it was like, no, sorry, this song's take 3 hours to download.
It took like 8 hours to download a 12-song CD.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, good times. Yeah, I would set it up
and
before.
that was fast for
Yeah.
us. We were like,
Yeah.
no, I'll have it done by dinner.
Yeah, this is amazing. I would set something like that up before school. Come back from school, have my whole new album.
So let me ask you this, Steph, because you were the one that introduced me to pirating with Napster. How did you find out about Napster?
Yeah, let's talk about all the illegal shit we've done over the years.
Right?
On
I think
recording.
it was just word of mouth.
Just like at
It
school?
was just word of mouth. I think so. Yeah, I'm sure it was school. I'm sure it was probably Nadia because she still teaches me how to illegally get stuff that I want to get.
All right,
so.
we'll talk off camera.
That's what
Right.
that's what I'm talking about. I'm like,
Technically, you're gonna have to cut the
why are
part
you
out.
asking these questions, man?
With the whole like virus, the computer virus plotline and whatnot, I think this may have been the turning point for me when it came to like the movie's quality. Like I almost felt like the quality kind of began to be a little bit too far-fetched, and it kind of jumped the shark for me.
They went into space onto a spaceship.
An alien spaceship.
Nah, for me, it's like even looking back at that, because we have movies out now, right? So we're looking at this movie and we're watching them go into space in an alien spaceship, and we're like, that's unbelievable. But today's kids, and I say kids because that's the people that watch these films, right? Today's kids watch Fast 8, I think it is, and they go to space in a fucking car using like duct tape and scuba gear. I mean, and we're expected to look back at our childhood and go, that's fucking unbelievable. No, that was believable. They took alien craft to an alien mothership and they escaped that shit. That part is the most believable part of the whole film.
Let me just say with
Man.
Fast and Furious, there was a part where I think it was the one just before the last one where there's like a helicopter that's like trying to like flee, and there's like this rope or chain or something hanging from it, and The Rock.
That's from Hobbs and
Is that what it
Shaw. Yeah, and it's The Rock. He's holding the car, like the trailer part of the car and the chain, and holding a helicopter.
Like, what the hell,
That's why
man?
I can't watch these damn movies.
You know what? Fuck it. I want to give another shout out to the president's morale boosting speech, because that thing was just awesome. And you know what? Like, I think up until, I don't know, I'm sure there's like a bunch of sports movies or whatever that came out after that, but you know, where the coach has to rally the team back from like a deficit. But I feel like this was like the standard up until like, I don't know, Remember the Titans or something, like whatever like sports movies had dramatic and epic speeches. But it's like the speech that was delivered by Bill Pullman in the scene was it was just so awesome, because I think like after that nuke, and the fact that it like didn't even do a scratch on that one flying saucer, or I think they call them like city killers or something like that, or city exterminators, whatever. It didn't even cause a scratch. So now they're back to square one. They're like, what the hell can we do? And that's that's when they come up with we should just disable the shields. Which, how do they even know that the mothership is like supplying the signal for these shields? I don't know. They just got lucky, I guess.
Good point. Yeah, they just assumed and got lucky for sure.
I think they're assuming that they're all interconnected because of the telepathic link they're aware of now, and maybe the mothership has the same link with its technology. For who knows? But but it is a great speech. It's one of those speeches, and I think he makes it in such a way that it's. I think he makes the speech at the end of the movie where he talks about now it's not just the independence of the United States, but this is the Independence Day of the world.
The world, yeah. Everyone kind of shares the same. It's like an international holiday now.
Right.
But this was pretty badass because, not only did he deliver that speech, but he's just, he kind of steps down as president, I feel like, around this time. And he's just like, you know what, like, I might go out on my shield, but, I want to at least go out fighting. So that's when I belong in the air. He hops in the cockpit and, he's going to lead the Eagle Squadron this time. Instead of the Black Knights, it's going to be the Eagle Squadron to defend Area 51, because now the city destroyer, I think that's what it's called, the city destroyer that destroyed LA is like slowly floating towards Area 51 at this point. So,
right. Yeah, they're starting to move to their new locations to continue destroying the world.
Well, I don't think I think they get a link from the alien that wakes up, and that's why they start moving
it's
that
like
way,
a beacon,
right?
Yeah, I think
so.
It kind of reveals their location.
Because when the ship gets activated to fly out, I think it's like, oh, we know a ship's out here.
I also wonder too, since when they had the mind meld, you know how like it was almost like a bunch of information was downloaded really quickly. I wonder if the same happened to the alien and he was able to like broadcast it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe they have the hive mind like the Zerg.
The hive mind, yeah.
So
there was an overmind somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, and what's crazy is I know that we're only talking about this one, but in the second movie they do have a queen, right?
That's true. Yeah. Queen of Blades.
let's not bring her into this. Let's be honest, that was the best character from the entire franchise.
Yeah. But but I digress. Captain Hiller and David, they're piloting the old ass Air 51 alien ship, that came from like Roswell, and so they're like en route to the mothership, and then this is like humans' final stand, over at Air 51. They have to hold off the aliens as long as they can, and they also have to be in position to be able to counterattack, because as soon as that shield goes down, as soon as they get the signal, they need to fucking like do as much damage as possible before like they can kind of like get the shields back online. It was pretty sick because they kind of timed it perfectly, right? Like somehow they know when Hiller and David are like within the mothership, they get kind of captured and they're able to upload the virus or whatever. I don't really know why like they have to kind of like hold out. I guess like they giving it like a certain amount of time before they fire off the nuke. Is that why they're just kind of?
Well, that's the thing is I don't think they explain that, but that would be my question is, if they had uploaded the virus and then immediately dropped the nuke, since it's inside the mothership and the mothership's going to be destroyed, will that in turn, if they had done that quickly, would that in turn have disabled all the ships in the ground area, and then they wouldn't have needed to sacrifice Case's life to launch his Box 3 missile? Eagle 4, Box 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, because we don't know, like, once the virus is uploaded, how long does it take to kind of, like, have the virus spread to the other ships? I don't know.
Well, yeah, they were assuming a couple minutes, I think. Well, yeah, they're just... But, like, once they did upload the virus, they were just kind of like, all right, go. And see if it's down. Yeah, they were assuming it would be down for a couple minutes, while they called IT and got their shit back together. They started it
before they left for school, and they have to wait until they get home for the,
It's still only 12%. What should we do?
Yeah.
But you know what? That was like, that scene was pretty awesome. Like the second like aerial dogfight.
Yeah.
Because this time around, the Eagle Squadron have a lot more success because I think around the time they wait the allotted time and they're like, okay, the shield should be down now. Let's try it out. Eagle 1, Fox 3 or whatever, and he shoots the missile and it hits the shield and he's like, God damn it, it's not going to work. But then, I don't know, like the president's like, let me try one more time. And then this time the shield's down and it actually damages the ship. So everyone just starts like, launching everything that they have at it. This is what was pretty cool too, is because the little individual alien fighter ships, they were getting fucked up now because they didn't have the shields anymore.
They're way
so
more
like
evenly matched.
yeah, so it's like now you actually get to showcase like our aerial combat skills, and
our prowess in the air.
It seemed like it was holding up pretty well against the aliens. The aliens were like, again, I think they were probably a little too cocky. They're like, they're really gonna try this shit again, and then they started getting fucked up, and they're like, oh man, I don't know if we can win this now.
Good old American ingenuity.
Exactly, modified American style.
There you go.
They start damaging the ship, but it's only doing like very minimal damage, and it's not taking it down quick enough, and it's like now like right over Area 51, and it's kind of like gearing up. It's charging the giant laser beam on the bottom, and this is where good old Russell Case comes in. Crazy Russell, he kamikazes into the destroyer, but even before that. Of course, we have a guy that's not even trained to be a fighter pilot, and he already knows how to pilot this damn like fighter jet. He's just pushing buttons and hoping that everything's working. Because remember, he almost like fires off the missile like right when he gets into it.
Well, remember he was a Vietnam pilot, right? He was a Vietnam War pilot, so he knew how to fly certain planes. But this obviously that was years and years prior to this.
Exactly.
But I like I said, I think it was to bring the whole thing full circle, and that's why he says at the end, doesn't he say something like "Hi boys, I'm back," and then
back,
and then he flies into it with that crusty ass Randy Quaid smile.
It was a facepalm moment, I guess you could say, where the one jet that has like a busted like rocket, and it's the one that he's flying. It's like, oh my god, he has the clear shot, and he's just like, it's jammed, sir. Of course. Like, why the hell? I don't think I've ever heard of like a fighter jet where it's like the missile's not able to fire off.
The 90s.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That's my explanation.
I don't know. I know the amount I know about fighter jets could probably fill the Grand Canyon because I know nothing about them.
Have you seen Top Gun? Did any of their missiles malfunction?
That's the thing is I don't know, man. I haven't seen Top Gun in years. All I remember there was a volleyball scene that's very, very like erotic almost.
Ooh, all right. Might have to do that one next.
Isn't that on the list at some point?
Is
That's
it?
when I saw it.
If you put it on the list, then you're fired.
I didn't.
I'm just kidding. But you know what's interesting about his little like kamikaze scene, Russell Case? So there's an interesting note that in the original script, it had Russell Case actually being rejected as a volunteer pilot. And I don't know if you guys knew about this. I was kind of watching like the extra scenes or whatever, the special features, and he was rejected due to his alcoholism. They're like, you know what, you would end up like shooting one of us down, so we don't want you. And the thing is, even just like thinking about it is like such a ridiculous concept, but. So the same thing would happen. They would be like, the shield would come down. They were supposed to do a lot of damage to it. He was going to have the moment to like be able to like shoot a rocket into the laser, and it was going to hit the wrong point. So when all hope is lost, later in this fight, this biplane comes in, and it's fucking Russell Case flying his like crop duster. And he has a missile strapped to it.
That would explain why he brought it along. Because when they're riding in the trailers, like that caravan of trailers, he's towing it along.
Yeah, that's true. You don't ever really see it again. But it's like, he with the missile
Where
strap.
did he get the missile from? those
And then he just
missiles
duct
weigh
tapes
like
it.
hundreds of pounds.
Yeah.
He fucking like commandoed this on his shoulder to the top of his plane, and
He just MacGyver's it.
And flex taped it to the wing. The rocket is what's propelling him through the air because his plane has no
That's what
lift.
I'm saying. Like the biplane wouldn't even be able to like reach the laser. Like it's just so damn slow.
Yeah.
But this obviously that would give much more of a comedic feel. So when they were like discussing it, they're like, okay, you know what, I think we want to go a little bit more emotional than comical for this like climactic scene. So they ended up just giving him a jet. But could you imagine that? Like he fucking comes in like he's like, here I am, sir, and somehow he's able to radio in as well, and he has a fucking rocket. Like it's like weighing it down. He's like, nah.
That would have been terrible.
Oh, and
No.
it's still playing like the heroic music and everything in the background.
But it's doing that fucking like side to side thing that the biplanes do. It's like a
Let's try spinning. That's a neat trick.
a single engine goes upside down. Oh man.
Needless to say, once he flies into the laser, it takes down the ship, and everyone's rejoicing. And around this time, Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum they fire off the nuke. Here's another weird thing too. Why is it that when they shoot the nuke, it doesn't explode on contact?
I think
Was
they
it on
did
a
that.
timer
They
or
talked about
something?
it purposely because they had a timer so they could get out. Because unfortunately, the nuke, I think it was pre-designed that way that it would go off after a certain amount of time to give them enough time to escape.
I almost feel like the way it was ripping through the interior of that ship, I almost felt like it would have absolutely blown up on contact.
Yeah, well, you got to remember that's not how a lot of I don't know how nukes work because I've never been around one, but even some of our like our Moab, the one that we've used, we only used it once, I think, in like northern Afghanistan, one of the tunnels. What it does is it basically lays down a gaseous layer as it flies in, and then it ignites that gas, creating a large explosion by basically blowing up gas inside of tunnels and stuff. And
Whoa,
so,
okay.
yeah.
So it fills it to
And I
like
know
get into
that-
the crevices.
Yeah.
I know
Because
the atomic
so people
bombs,
call it the mother of all bombs, but that's not what it actually stands for. MOAB stands for, I think it's massive ordnance air blast or something like that. And so what it does is it basically blasts the air. It creates a gaseous layer and then ignites that gas inside of a.
It kind of reminds me of like white phosphorus or something.
Yeah, like a Call of Duty. Yeah, you're like, oh, this is gonna be over the battlefield now.
And maybe it's not the type to explode on impact because the atomic bombs don't explode on impact either. They explode in the air, like over hundreds of feet over whatever you're trying to explode.
So do you think that if it wasn't triggered in the air when it hit the ground, would it explode?
I don't think so because they've I mean other bombs they found other rockets that haven't exploded on impact.
That's
true. Okay.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Wanda Maximoff and her brother had one of Tony Stark's missiles inside their house that didn't explode for how many days, right? So
spoilers.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we got to say that for a movie that's 10 years old now.
I give you the Jericho.
Yeah,
that's what they should have used.
You can clap. But yeah, so I don't know. I think that part was appropriate as well. So it kind of gives credence to the fact that they were able to get out, and you see them kind of riding the shockwave as they're heading back to Earth. So.
And they blew up the mothership to make sure that the shields didn't come back up, right?
That's my guess.
Yeah, because it's not like all the other ships went down as soon as the mothership went down. They coordinated around the world so that they would know. Like when once they shot up the middle of the ship and blew it up, they're like, okay, tell everyone how this goes. Tell everyone around the world, quick.
Just grab a biplane. Any biplane will do.
And what's crazy is they do it by old Morse code.
Right?
That's true, yeah. I don't know what are you saying? What should we do?
It's just a bunch of dots and dashes.
But you know what? Like even like the virus uploading and like the laughter, like why does it have that like the graphic, like the little GIF of it laughing too? Like that was almost like like Jeff Goldblum was like let me give him like one last middle finger, and he like created this like GIF.
I feel like that's all that really was.
Just to be dramatic. I think it was supposed to be like a comedic effect, like we got you.
It very much felt like in the same vein as Jurassic Park when it's like the
Yeah, agreed. Which also has Jeff Goldblum in it.
Jeff Goldblum in his prime. Jeff Goldblum all over the place.
Nature always finds a way. So yeah, all in all, I think the movie. Honestly, it was a great memory from childhood. I think that it's one of those things that when there's an opportunity to watch it, especially if you have somebody that maybe doesn't remember it, or maybe it's like a kid that's young enough that they didn't see it when it came out. It's one of those great ones to watch. And sometimes they're watching it with you and they're like, was this cool when you were young? And it's like, no, this was epic when I was young. So yeah, it was a great movie that came out at the appropriate time. And I agree. It was one of those things that upon seeing it the first time, it was one of those things where you're like, this is going to be a blockbuster hit.
Oh, definitely. And it was. Yeah. So did you actually watch it with your kids?
I've watched it with my kids probably twice now. I don't know if they would even remember it because, like I said, there's so many movies nowadays that are, in their opinion, so much better. But
Okay.
there are some movies, like I said, I'm one of those people, like if I have the opportunity to watch RoboCop, man, I will watch that movie with passion every single time it's on. I mean, I could probably quote the entire movie.
Jeez, really? So if there was one movie, like your house is burning down, there's one movie you could take with you, it would be RoboCop.
Absolutely. I don't know. I don't even own it. I think I own it in like a video format through Vudu or like some, Amazon Prime or something like that. But yeah, I would definitely.
Dang,
That's the one thing, the movie I would grab. I mean, just
that's a hard
we'll
question.
talk about it one other time, but it's great.
What would your movie be, Eric?
For me, man, like the absolute favorite movie that I can continue watching. Oh, so many, so many. I think you know what.
That is hard.
Starship Troopers.
It's a Peter
Like I were
Verhoeven
talking about
film.
earlier.
Yeah, same director.
What's your favorite Peter movie stuff? I can only think of those two.
Right?
No, he's done other stuff.
Because I want to jokingly say Day After Tomorrow because that's like stuck in my head.
Yeah.
But that honestly, that would not.
You know what?
be
It's Paul Verhoeven. Sorry.
Oh, Paul. Okay.
Yeah, Peter Verhoeven is a basketball player. We've been giving him too much credit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we got to go ahead and re-record this whole podcast now.
Yep.
That is a wrap, folks. If you made it to the end of our podcast, then you're all invited to Cameron's parents' fireworks show. BYOB.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts or closing comments?
I really enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun having you, man.
I appreciate that.
It's been a blast catching up.
And
Indeed,
a
it
great
has.
movie from our childhood with a great friend from our childhood.
That's right. Family, not friend, family.
True that,
Family.
true that.
We're family. So yeah, if you ever, like I said, bring me back when you do the other one, okay?
Any of the Paul or Peter films.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, hopefully you had a good time. I mean,
I did.
We had a lot of fun having you on the show.
I agree. I did. It was a great time.
Perfect. Any closing comments stuff? Final thoughts?
So, but yeah, I mean, definitely one that I watch. I usually try and watch it sometime during the 4th of July every year. So
I guess I'm the only one out of the loop. Like, I haven't seen this movie in years, and I
Yeah.
still thought that, a lot of it held up, like how we're saying the CGI
Yeah.
because of the practical effects, and even just like the spaceships like coming in and they're on fire and the lasers and whatnot. Like, that shit was awesome. That shit holds up. The alien suits, like, sick. Like, I think it puts a lot of special effects even today to shame.
I agree. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought it was good. And one day I'll totally be showing my kids this movie and being like it.
This has been Aflixionados Podcast, episode 12, Independence Day. Thank you to the listeners out there for joining us, and we will see you all next time. Happy 4th of July, and welcome to Earth. Identify target.
In the pipe, 5x5.
Did somebody call an exterminator?
Nuclear launch detected.